In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete Nightmare Mode in Hunty Zombies. So we're inside of a new game once again, and this game did spark my interest because it actually is kind of similar to ROBLOX, if you guys do remember that game. I've actually been having a lot of fun inside of this game. In this video, I'm going to show you how to complete the hardest difficulty inside of the game, which is the Nightmare Mode right here. We're going to be going ahead and completing it on solo, so you guys can see how exactly to do this. So yeah, make sure you guys watch the entire video so you guys can see everything. Alright, so I went ahead and loaded inside of the first round, and yeah, pretty much how this game works is it pretty much is a dungeon crawler, but it's kind of like zombie themed. So pretty much how this works is you go through different rooms and zombies will spawn in and you have to go ahead and kill them, and they will give you coins and other rewards as well for a drop, which is pretty cool. And you also can get certain abilities you can use with your weapons, which is actually really cool. As you can see, I'm currently using a guitar, which is actually a legendary weapon. It does do some pretty good damage, as you can see. Also, I do have another weapon. If I hit 2, I actually switch to some dual guns, and these are actually pretty decent too. And then we go level completed, we move on to the next level, and depending on the world you play will depend on how many levels there actually are, but I think there usually is like at least 5 or 6 levels on each, regardless of whichever map you play. But yeah, currently unfortunately there is only 2 maps inside of the game, but they are planning on adding more, so there should be a lot more content coming in the game pretty soon too. But yeah, there is a ton of other really cool abilities inside this game. If you actually look at the bottom of my screen, you do actually get 3 abilities for each weapon you do get. So our first ability is called Headshot, and you push Z to use that for the gun. So yeah, if we go ahead and push Z, as you can see, he will pretty much do a pretty cool headshot as well, which is pretty nice. So there is level completed for that. Now let's go and test out the other ability called the Jackpot. Let's see how good this one is. So if we go ahead and hit X, I guess he just fires a bunch of times. And then we also have Bullet Hell. So what is this about to do? If we go and hit C, okay, what the heck? That was a pretty cool ability, I'm not gonna lie. Well, yeah, while you are attacking, I would definitely recommend you get to learn the dodging mechanics inside the game, because it is pretty useful to know how to dodge. Especially when there's enemies that do a ton of damage and you're not ready for them, you can just hit Q and dodge it back. It's definitely really helpful to dodge. And then also another thing in this game is there is actually something called perks that you actually get. And unfortunately you do only get one, but I do have my perk ready, which is called the Undead in the bottom left, and what it actually does is it increases my movement speed, and it also reduces my skill cooldown as well, so it's definitely pretty cool, as you can see. But there are some enemies in here that do a good amount of damage, so you do definitely need to be careful, especially in Nightmare Mode. If you're not careful, you can definitely end up dying. Although I actually have not ended up dying before, so maybe we can go ahead and keep that true. But if you are not paying attention, you can definitely end up dying pretty quick. As you can see, I'm actually losing a lot of health. I need to lock in. But alright, there we go, we got the next level complete. Try to make sure we don't end up dying here. We are actually getting somewhat low, but thankfully these guys did drop us some health points, so we did get back to full health at least. So yeah, there we go, we're doing pretty decent. We also do have pets inside the game as well. As if you haven't noticed, behind me I do have a shark and a tiger, and both of them do give me different buffs, which is pretty cool, but also they go ahead and just pick up coins and things off of the ground too, which is really helpful. So yeah, definitely recommend to get pets if you can, because they're pretty cool. And at the top of the screen it does say which level you are actually on. As you can see, we are in level 2, 3, so the next one should put us on world 3 or the 3rd level. Alright, we went ahead and filled up our ability bar at the bottom. As you can see, the dual guns, if we go ahead and hit G, it does a really cool ability. I think it's called like an awakening in the game. So yeah, definitely really cool. I'm gonna save that though for the next level. Let's go ahead and get there real quick. And alright, here we are. Whenever you do get to world 3 inside of the school, it actually teleports you to the top, right up here, and you go on top of the prison roof, and you actually have to fight a lot more monsters, so it is pretty cool. And there actually is a bunch of different mobs or zombies inside of the game that you have to kill. As you can see, there's like a vampire one right here. Alright, we actually need to be pretty careful here. We are getting pretty low, and to make sure to keep dodging, because these guys are doing a lot of damage. I'm already at 37 health. This shark pet though does have an ability where I have a 10% chance whenever I do get hit to regain some health, so that is actually a pretty good pet. But yeah, let's go ahead and try this awakening. Let's go ahead and hit G with the dual guns, and let's see what happens. So that's a pretty cool animation, as you can see. And okay, as you can see, this actually looks super cool, and what the heck? I think we're about to die, boys. I was not ready for that. I actually got stuck. Alright, there's like 4 vampires inside of here. I think we actually might be screwed, boys. I'm not gonna lie. And alright, unfortunately, we were killed. But I was actually realized I was equipped, or I had equipped the wrong perk. I actually had the Undead perk equipped, which to be honest is not really good. Literally all it does is increase your movement speed and reduce skill cooldown, which is really not too good. The critical perk is way better. As you can see, it literally increases your damage and attack power for 60 seconds. So this is way better of a perk to use. And yeah, that was actually my very first death. As you can see, if you actually look at my profile, that was literally my very first death in the game. I literally haven't died yet, so that was pretty unfortunate. But I think not having the right perk equipped, I think that definitely messed me up. Alright, we're running this back once again, boys. Hopefully we can actually complete this time. But yeah, I'm using the guitar right now, and not gonna lie, I think I might like the guitar better. It's actually really good, and the abilities for it are also really good as well. We do have the Echo Blast. If we hit Z, it does like a blast a little bit in front of us, which is pretty cool. We then have the Chord Wave, which I'll go and test in a second once we get some more zombies. So yeah, if we go and hit X right here, as you can see, it does a wave with a bunch of particles around, explosions. And then if we hit C, it does the sonic rush. If we go and hit stat, we go and just rush through all the zombies, which is really cool. That might just be one of my favorite abilities that you can actually use, so it's definitely a really cool one. And I haven't even showed you guys the awakening yet, what it actually does with the guitar. It's actually really cool, but we need to unlock it first. So let me go and keep farming up these zombies, and we should get it pretty soon. I was going to use our critical trait now, so we should be able to do a lot more damage, hopefully. Alright, we are making pretty decent progress if we go and defeat all the rest of these guys. Alright, we do have our perk ready again. Let's go and use our critical. There we go. Alright, we made it back on this school roof again, so we need to go and defeat this, and hopefully this time we should be alright now. Because that critical trait is actually significantly more helpful than the other one. And this guitar is also doing some pretty good damage, so yeah, let's go and move into this next area. There's so many TNT ones in here. What the heck? Alright, let's go use our sonic rush. Hopefully we don't end up dying right here. What the heck? I have no clue what just happened. I don't know how I just took so much damage. What the heck is going on with this game? These zombies must have just like stacked on top of me, and it must have just bugged and did so much damage. I don't know what that was, but at least we survived. That was way too close. Okay, it's because the next door actually opened up. I was not even ready for that. That must have been what happened. Well, yeah, let's go ahead and jump down here onto this roof, and then now we just need to hold out here for 3 minutes once we get these 10 zombies killed. Let's go ahead and use our ability. There we go. That got all of them dead. And now let's go ahead and hit the radio, and then we just need to survive for 3 minutes, which hopefully should be pretty easy. Alright, as you can see, the game actually changes. We get some cool sound effects and stuff. So now we just need to survive for 3 minutes. As you can see in the top right, actually says your objective. So yeah, I'm gonna go just train these zombies for a bit, and hopefully we actually don't end up dying. If we do, that would be pretty unfortunate. You definitely want to make sure not to get too many of them stacked up, because if you do get a bunch and then you end up running into them, they probably will end up one-shotting you. So you definitely need to be careful about that. Whenever you do see the TNT zombies, make sure you just try and just run up next to them for 1 second, because they will ignite their barrel. But yeah, let's go and slay all these zombies we have trained up. There's definitely a good amount standing right there. There we go. But yeah, there's actually a new zombie up here whenever we get to the end called this basketball zombie. And yeah, he's actually a little bit of a hassle. You definitely want to try and focus him because he does do like ranged damage and he is kind of annoying. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and use my sonic rush ability. Hopefully we can maybe end up killing him. I don't know. I'm not even sure though. Okay, there's literally 2 of these guys now. Let me go ahead and see if we can hopefully get one of these. Why is there 4 of these basketball guys? This is actually gonna do some really good damage. We need to be very careful right now. I'm just spamming Q, but these guys are legit running so quick I can't even catch up to them. When I played this game mode the last time, I swear it did not used to be this difficult, but I guess they maybe it changed it. This is nightmare mode to be fair, so I mean that does make sense why it is a little bit harder, I'm assuming. But yeah, only 40 more seconds, boys, and then we should be good. I'm assuming there might be a boss zombie that might spawn in. We'll see in a second though. But yeah, we're doing pretty decent right now. We actually have not died yet, and I still do have my awakening to use, so I will use that if I have to. But yeah, we are doing some really good damage. It seems like we're about to survive though. We did not get the boss zombie, and there we go. Or no, I actually did see it over here, so you can see the outline for it is right here, but we're not going to have enough time to defeat it because the helicopter is actually landing right there. It's going to only give us like a 30-second timer to escape, which is kind of unfortunate, but I guess we can try to do some damage. We can use our awakening though, so maybe it'll do some damage. But yeah, definitely really cool. And what it pretty much does, it just does aura damage to everything around it, but I don't know why it did not hit that boss zombie. But yeah, let's go and escape out of here, boys. We went ahead and completed it, and there we go. We actually defeated the nightmare mode on the school zones. That was definitely pretty cool, and we got nearly 20,000 coins. That's definitely pretty nice. I think we're gonna go and try and run it back though, but we're gonna go ahead and do it now inside of the sewer map. So we're gonna go ahead and complete nightmare mode on both maps. Alright, but before we do hop into the second map though, I do want to show you a couple of things. I didn't show you like the pet abilities, just so you can see the ones that I currently have. As you can see, this tiger does a 5% chance to inflict a bleeding effect when attacking enemies, which is pretty cool. This pig, which is honestly not great, but it's not bad, still gives 10 players health, which is okay. And the shark's pretty good. As you can see, when you're attacked, you get a 10% chance to regenerate health for 3 seconds. That's pretty nice. And then finally, one more thing I want to talk about inside this game is we do have the addition of traits, which you can actually put on your weapon. And I do actually already have a trait on my guitar, although it says I don't have one for some reason. So I guess I will go ahead and re-roll a trait, but I currently do only have one trait, or one re-roll trait. So we're gonna have to get pretty lucky if you want to get something good. But as you can see, if you scroll down here, there are some pretty good traits you can actually get just by like increasing attack damage, or like increasing attack speed, or your skill damage, which is pretty decent too. There's like intelligent, which is pretty good. I thought that's what I had on my guitar before, but for some reason I guess it took it off. But it gains you 10% more HP when you kill enemies, so it's pretty decent. The fortune increases 10% drops for enemies, and then the beast one is actually really good. It increases your damage by 10% and your attack speed by 2%. 10%. And then finally, the best trait in the game, which is Prodigy. It says increased attack damage by 15%, your speed by 6%, and your skill damage by 15%, and slightly boosts your movement speed. That is insane. That legit just boosts like every single buff out of all these, so that's definitely the best trait in the game. So we'll see if we can maybe get it, but we got power 2, which gives us 10% more damage, which I guess is decent. It's not insane, but I guess I'll keep it because I don't have any more traits. And they do have a trait shop, or a shop where you can spend Robux on, but as you can see, these trait rerolls are insanely expensive. Also, I do have 4 normal spins I'm going to go ahead and use and see if we can maybe get something rare if we're replacing the undead one. So we'll see if we can get a good spin. And we got Flame. It says your attack sets zombies on fire, dealing light damage over time. And it says careful, don't make it too overpowered. Okay, kind of interesting, but it is an epic, so I think I'm going to re-roll it. Let's see if we can maybe get a legendary or mythic. I think I'm definitely act for the mythic traits, which is, I guess, the only one currently is vampire. But that would be insane to get, but I don't think we're going to get it, unfortunately, which is okay. We still do have the critical one, which is still pretty decent. And then also over here, there is achievements and milestones, which you can go ahead and do, and they all take different quests, and they pretty much just give you titles inside of the game, and I guess actually also XP. So pretty decent, but yeah, some of these titles are actually pretty cool, and you can just equip them and flex if you want to, but yeah, they're pretty decent, and each of them are pretty difficult to attain, depending what you're trying to do. I mean, this untouchable one sounds really difficult. As you can see, complete any solo campaign on nightmare difficulty without taking damage. So that sounds really hard. Even if you take damage just one single time, you have to literally restart. So that's pretty difficult. But yeah, there's some pretty cool ones in here. I should be getting this survive 10 matches without dying one soon. And then also there currently is an event inside of the game in the center of the map, which you can go and walk up to, and you can actually go and claim a scythe weapon. If you complete these 2 requirements at the bottom, you have to get 1,000,000 coins and you have to get level 10. Level 10 is pretty easy, but getting 1,000,000 coins is pretty difficult, so you definitely have to grind a lot more if you want to get that. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop into the sewer map now. We're gonna go ahead and run this one on the nightmare mode, and we're gonna go ahead and run this back, and we're gonna beat it. Or not run it back, but we're gonna go ahead and play it, and we're definitely gonna complete it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and start going. And also, nothing I want to mention is for the TNT zombies. Whenever you do find them, you should try your best to kill them if you can, because they do actually usually give you coins or some good drops if you kill them. But you can just walk up to them like I mentioned earlier, and they'll instantly explode. So it is kind of worth it for sure. So yeah, let's go ahead and keep on progressing. We're just destroying all these zombies. And I believe the sewer map actually does contain a boss on, like, I think the 3rd level, so we're gonna go ahead and get there. I mean, it will take me a little bit, but we're gonna go ahead and show off the boss, because when I tried to fight it last time, it actually just didn't even end up fighting me. But yeah, you can go ahead and defeat the TNT ones by using the Sonic Rush if you do have it for the guitar. That does a lot of damage really fast, and as you just saw when I did destroy it or kill him, he does give me a good amount of coins, so it's pretty worth it. But yeah, honestly, after playing with both of the legendary weapons, I can definitely say, in my opinion, I think I like the guitar way better, just because the abilities are low-key way stronger, or just do way better AoE, and I feel like it does more damage, honestly, but who knows. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this game so far. It's definitely a pretty interesting one, really unique, and the effects on it are definitely really cool. Alright, we are now on level 1-3, but there should be a boss right in front of this door, and yep, there is one. We're gonna go ahead and defeat this guy. Let me go ahead and pop my awakening too, so this should be hopefully pretty helpful to do a lot of damage, and yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool animation. And okay, we should be able to hopefully defeat this guy. I'm hoping we can. We can use all of our abilities to hopefully do as much damage as we can. We're gonna keep on dodging. We're gonna smack him once and then keep on running, and we accidentally opened up the next door. Alright, that is not great, but we can do the rush maybe, and we should be able to kill most of those. There we go. Alright, there is the first area complete. We're now on area number 2. And also, when you find these little like rabbit or wherever even this like rat is, you want to be careful because they try to jump on you, so just make sure you keep on dodging, and you can usually avoid it. But if you don't dodge, it sometimes may end up hitting you and getting on top of you. And I'll let it go and get on top of me just to show you guys. As you can see, he pretty much just does damage consistently, so you want to make sure you keep hitting when he's on you, or else he will kill you. So yeah, let's go ahead and keep on moving. Let's make sure to not get any more of those bears on me, or rats, whatever they are. And we did just that. Thankfully, we do have the Sonic Rush, which gets them off very quick if you didn't know. But yeah, we were getting a lot of these rats jumping at us, and it is kind of annoying, I'm not gonna lie, because they are actually pretty powerful. But if you can just get a strike on them like so and keep on hitting them, they usually won't get on you. I'm gonna go ahead and use the awakening again inside this room. This should hopefully defeat everything inside of here instantly. And yep, just like that, everything literally died and the level's complete. Alright, we are now on the last level, boys, so we have to go ahead and get through this, and then we should get to a boss room, I believe. Alright, we went ahead and made it to the sewer room now, and as you can see, it's actually slightly different than the other room. So yeah, when we get here, we're gonna go and defeat this few zombies that are just lurking around here, and then we have to go and power the sewer gate. And it's pretty much similar to the last one, where we have to go and survive for 3 minutes. So we're gonna go ahead and power this thing up, and then we just need to survive for 3 minutes, and then we should be good. So yeah, we just need to make sure we don't end up dying. I think some pretty cool or interesting effects are about to come on the screen. And yeah, now it's just the same as before. We can go and just have to survive and don't end up dying. It's literally our only objective. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pop my awakening now, and hopefully I can have it ready again by the time we get closer to having to leave. Alright, we got these basketball guys on here again. Let's see if we can hopefully take care of them and not end up up dying to all these guys. Definitely would not be great. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop my Sonic Rush. Hopefully we can survive this. We can pop our Sonic Blast to take out that basketball one. And after this last one, there we go. He is gone. At least for now, though, I'm sure more are gonna pop up. So let's go and survive now. We're doing all right. And we do have our Awakening already ready again. So that is definitely really OP. Hopefully the boss should be spawning any second now. And we're going to go ahead and defeat him, I'm guessing, if we get enough time to. And yep, he is right here. So let's go ahead and pop our Awakening. And hopefully we do some good damage to it. And let's go ahead and pop our Sonic Rush. I'm not sure how much damage that even did, though. We're going to go ahead and just pop all of our abilities, though, because we need to do all this damage that we can. And we have 22 seconds. Hopefully we can kill this thing and not end up dying. Alright, we're getting down to the last couple seconds. I don't know if we're going to get him, boys. It's actually so close. I'm just going to keep hitting him. And we just got him in time. Okay, nice. And yep, just like so, we are escaping through the sewer and we completed the level. And there we go. We got a bunch of drops. We got even 2 reroll traits. That's pretty decent. And yeah, boys, that currently is the entire game so far. There isn't any other levels we can currently play, unfortunately. They are working on a carnival campaign level, which is going to be added pretty soon. So that should definitely be pretty cool. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for that video. But yeah, make sure you guys head over to my Discord server if you guys want. A link to that will be in the description. Also, make sure you check out my Roblox UGC as well. This vortex orb on my shoulder is a pretty cool item. I really appreciate it if you guys would try it out. And make sure you guys subscribe to the channel as well, because we're on the road to 100k subs. I very appreciate if you guys subscribe. And yeah, thank you boys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.